Editorial. Tran's sentencing price paid for his above-the-law hubris. February 11, his delaying tactics and bids for leniency exhausted. Former Fitchburg Republican State Senator Dean Tran finally has met his fate after being found guilty of both unlawful unemployment assistance and tax fraud. Tran, who worked his way up the political ranks from Fitchburg City Councilor to state senator, turned his feel-good story of the American dream into a nightmare of deceit, coupled with an inability to accept responsibility for his illegal conduct. U.S. District Court Chief Judge F. Dennis Saylor IV on Friday sentenced Tran, 48, to 18 months on fraud charges, to be followed by 2 years of supervised release. Tran was also ordered to pay $25,100 in restitution to the Massachusetts Department of Unemployment Assistance and $23,327 to the Internal Revenue Service, as well as a $7,500 fine and a mandatory assessment of $2,300. In September 2024, Tran was convicted of 20 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts of filing false tax returns. The defendant was indicted by a federal grand jury in November 2023. He will report to federal prison, which the judge said he recommends as a location closest to Fitchburg so Tran's wife and 3 children can visit, within 6 weeks and no later than March 21. He also faces other pending cases in both state and federal courts. Tran served in the state Senate, representing the Worcester and Middlesex District from 2017 to January 2021. He lost his re-election bid to Democrat John Cronin. He then fraudulently received pandemic unemployment benefits while simultaneously employed as a paid consultant for a New Hampshire-based retailer of automotive parts. While working as a paid consultant for that company, Tran fraudulently collected $30,120 in pandemic unemployment benefits. Tran also concealed $54,700 in consulting income that he received from the automotive parts company from his 2021 federal income tax return. This was in addition to thousands of dollars in income that Tran concealed from the IRS while collecting rent from tenants living in his Fitchburg property from 2020 to 2022. Tran used novel techniques in attempting to delay his sentencing and skirting the repercussions of his fraud. That included seeking a pardon from President Trump, and then pleading for no sentence because he's the breadwinner for his family. Also, he should also be forgiven because his family suffered hardships in Vietnam before coming to America. Over a 2-hour sentencing hearing in federal court in Boston, Prosecutor John Mulcahy contended that Tran regularly ignored rules and laws. He's told not to do something and he doesn't care. He still does it, said Mulcahy of Tran, alluding to the court's issuance of a gag order due to Tran's continued Facebook attacks on the court system, prosecutors, and others over the course of his trial. He doesn't believe the rules apply to him, just like, as in this case, he doesn't believe the law applies to him, added the prosecutor. Mulcahy said that the case was brought, not as a political persecution of a Republican in a blue state as Tran has argued, but through a bipartisan ethics investigation that found he illegally used state resources and employees' state-paid time to work on his campaign. When Dean Tran took his oath of office as a Massachusetts state senator, he willingly entered into a world of being in the public eye. He chose to violate the public's trust not once, but twice by defrauding the government out of unemployment benefits and willfully omitting his taxable income. His fraud and calculated deception erode the public's trust in elected officials and diverted money away from those who truly needed it, said U.S. Attorney Leah Beebe Foley.